The translator's job is to take the text from one language or one culture and make it understandable to another language in another culture. This is a good thing. But what we have to be careful of is that sometimes in smoothing out the original, we lose important clues as to the meaning. I was looking at Acts 1:25 this morning, and I stopped on this use of topon, lexical form topos, and we've generally memorized this word as place. And I stopped because this doesn't make any sense, that Judas turned aside to go into his own place. What on earth does that mean? I mean, that's hardly even translation. Again, the assumption, of course, is that translations have to make some sense. But I've been kind of picking on formal equivalent translations lately, so I thought I would take this opportunity to pick on dynamic or functional equivalent translations, just to be fair. Okay, but let's get a little context here. They've already picked out the two potential replacements for Judas. And it says, and praying, they said, you, okay, there's your subject, and then you got a vocative in apposition, Lord, the one knowing the hearts of all. So they're kind of lumping up some descriptions here. So you, Lord, the one who knows the hearts of all people, you show, and then what you have is a relative clause right here. And so probably henna is the direct object of the imperative. Show one, in other words, pick out one whom you have chosen out of these two. Okay? Why? To take the place. And when I saw this use of the same word of topon, that's when they clicked. But I'll come back to that. To take the place of the ministry, of this ministry and apostleship. So Judas had a ministry and an apostleship, and they need someone to take over those two vacancies, so to speak. So to take the place of this ministry and apostleship, from which Judas turned aside to go into his own place. Okay, now what on earth does that mean? Well, if you look up topos, it means place, right? This is BDAG, the area of any size generally specified as a place of habitation. So A is a place like a city or a village, an inhabited structure, space, place, building, place, location, regions, districts. Still not getting anything that fits the context. The place or a room where you could live or stay or even sit. Okay. F, the customary location of something, a place. Still not feeling it. Here we go. G, a transcendent site, especially of the place to which one's final destiny brings one. Kind of a torturous use of one, but we understand it. Such as the place of salvation in Tobit, a place where one is destined to go, so forth and so on. And you can see that BDAG has put our verse, Acts 1:25, in this section. Now understand that where BDAG puts a verse is a matter of exegesis. It's not so much being a dictionary, it's an exegetical decision, which means that they don't have to be right, but they normally are, and certainly it fits here. So what they're saying is that when Judas went to his place, it was to the place of his final destiny. Not the place of salvation, but the place of his death. But that still doesn't help, because I still don't know what place is. Not really. Well, as you flip through the different translations, it's interesting what they do with this, because they're all struggling with this. In the NASB, to go to his own place. ESV, to go to his own place. CSB, to go where he belongs. Now that actually is closer to the meaning, I would guess, but we'll keep going. NRSV, to go to his own place. NIV left to go where he belongs. Okay, same as the CSB. The Net Bible, go to his own place. NLT, gone where he belongs. NLT. And the King James might go to his own place. Okay, even after I looked at those, I was still struggling a bit. And then I realized, wait a minute. There's an issue of concordance going on here that illuminates everything. You remember, concordance is the desire to translate the same Greek word with the same English word. And many times you can do it, many times you can't do it. But here, this is the key. So they're asking God to show them which of these two he has chosen to take the place of ministry and apostleship, because Judas has gone to his own place. Now, this place to place is the key. That's a contrast that Luke is setting up. Judas had a place, or I should say Peter's setting up. Judas had a place, a great place, a place of ministry and apostleship. But instead, he chose to go to his own place, his place of destiny, to the place where he was going to go. But look what happens is that when you go back to some of these other translations, and I'm going to pick on the NIV, take over this apostolic ministry, what's missing? Yeah, topos is missing. Was Judas left to go to where he belongs? What's missing? Topon. In other words, in a desire to make it understandable, the NIV lost this really important concordance, which is the clue to the meaning. And again, to go back to the CSB, they keep place here, right? And they lose it here. Now, to be fair, there is a variant here where there's a word other than topos. You can see what's going on here. What I wanted to emphasize was that we need to make our translations understandable. That's a good thing. But we have to be really careful at losing contextual clues as to what they mean. And I would say that the occurrence of topon is really important and should have been kept in the translation. He had a place of ministry and apostolic ministry, but instead he gave that up and went to his own place. According to BDAG, the place of his final destiny. You got to watch for concordance when it's important.